welcome to AM Muscle Maintenance with InShape Fitness. I'm Coach Kim. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's podcast is called The Holiday Heart Routine. We're getting very close to the end of the year, and that means the big holidays are upon us. So many people are traveling. Lots of people take vacations or staycations. If you're not going anywhere, you're still probably not working maybe quite as many hours in the office, and you're probably not hitting the gym or getting those big workouts in. But there is always time for 15 minutes of heart-thumping, stimulating movements, and these movements aren't going to be difficult for any ability level because I'm going to give you tips for modulating the movement so that you can do what is safe for you, and you don't need any equipment. So kick off your shoes. Let's get started. What I want to do is work your entire body, include the priorities of movement that the InShape team includes in all of our exercise regimens, whether we're working with a person who's training for a marathon or working with our 90-year-old client in his the safety of his bed and chair. We're still focusing on things like your balance and your stability, the strength of your legs and of your legs independently of one another, the strength of your core and the stability of your trunk to move your limbs, the strength of the ability for you to exercise within the lateral and sort of rotational movements to interact with the things that are going on around you. And then finally, adding a little bit of plyometrics in. We are going to do that, but again, we'll be doing it very, very safely. So let's get on the floor. We're going to start today in cat camel with a little limbering up of your back, some deep breathing, and just a level of awareness about your body parts so that we can get started with some really good heart thumping exercises right there on the floor before we stand up. So you're in quadruped position, which means that you're going to put your hands on the floor, you put your knees on your floor, and your hands and your shoulders should line up in one straight line. And then you want to splay your fingertips, open up your fingers, and utilize the fingertips and the top part of your palm. Don't mash the heel of your hand into the floor. Now, this is a common mistake that novice exercisers, I notice in novice exercisers, because it's your fingers are not utilized for a lot, so your hands are relatively weak relative to all of human history leading up until now. Most people don't use enough of their upper bodies to maintain strength in their lower arms and upper arms and lower arms and in your hands. But if you splay your fingers and distribute your body weight properly, you will at least fatigue your hands a little bit less and your wrists. Then your knees and your hips should also line up in one straight line. Your back is flat and your head is in neutral position, which means that your ears and your shoulders should still be lined up. Your gaze should be at the floor. Now for cat and camel, take a couple of deep breaths, because as you inhale deeply through your nose, you want to consume as much air around you. Smell the air around you. And then as you blow air out of your mouth, bellow out of your mouth, you're going to move your body. So you move on the exhale typically. And with the movement for cat and camel, you drop your head like a bowling ball and then curl your spine up like a scared cat. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to get into that position. If you have to take a couple of deep breaths into and expanding the spine just a little bit more with the exhale on the second or third go round, you make your back concave and really think about how much height you can get in that thoracic, the middle upper part of your back. Now take another deep inhale, and as you exhale again, you're going to invert your spine. So you lift your head and your chest, and you contract the muscles in your lower back slowly. All of these movements, especially with movements that relate to your spine, take slowly, and your major joints, your hips and your shoulders. You want to be deliberate, and you want to breathe. Let the flow of oxygen coming in and carbon dioxide going out. It can help you manage your movement. Okay. Now, really easy way to get your heart rate is for you to go from this position in quadruped to downward facing dog, which is to lift your knees up off of the floor and straighten your legs so that your butt sticks straight up in the air. You might have to shift your hands and feet a little bit, but you basically go from quadruped to downward facing dog. Now you're in downward facing dog. Remember, again, you have to keep those fingers wide open so that you don't mash the heel of your hand into the floor and fatigue your wrists. I'm going to count off on 30 seconds worth of what we call a pike squat or a downward dog squat. So you bend your knees from downward facing dog. Your knees don't touch the floor as you move, but you bend your knees and then straighten your legs back out straight. All right, so 30 minutes. I'm going to turn the music up a little bit so that you can hear it, and I will just keep reminding you where the time is starting now. Ten seconds in. Make sure you're breathing deeply in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. You're at 20 seconds. And you're down to 5 seconds now. A couple more times. And now rest in child's pose. Really, really good. Okay, so you're resting in child's pose. When you rest in child's pose, it's an active stretch of your spine. So don't let your elbows just drop to the floor. You want to keep your elbows in the air and walk your fingers far away. And I'm going to keep you going because you should have felt a little bit of an activated heart rate through that exercise. Now what I want you to do is to go back to quadruped. We're going to do another stability exercise for your back. So you're going to do a bird dog here, where you extend the right arm straight out with your palm facing your head, and you extend the left leg straight back, not up. You don't want to lift the hip, but straight back with a pointed toe. You want to increase the distance between the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes, drawing a diagonal line, and then you return to your start position and then complete the opposite combination. So it's the left arm and the right leg. And then keep going back and forth. I'm going to turn the music back up. 30 seconds. Your time starts now. Halfway through. Keep your belly pulled in. And remember to keep breathing, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. You've got this. We're going to go back to those downward dog squats, and then I'm going to have you go into a plank. So really exciting stuff coming up. We're going to make it a little bit harder. All right, 5 seconds more. Excellent. Excellent job. Okay, if you need to rest in child's pose again, that's fine. Always good. Just remember, keep the child's pose active and keep the elbows off the floor. And make sure that you're walking your fingers as far away as you possibly can, breathing deeply, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Okay, now let's go back to downward dog or pike squats. So you go back to quadruped, quick systems check to make sure that you're in the right place in terms of your elbows and your shoulders and your hands and your hips and your knees. All right, now downward facing dog means you get into the position with your butt up in the air. Your legs are straight behind you. I'm turning the music back up. 30 more seconds. Go ahead and get started. Ten seconds. Halfway, 15 seconds to go. Bending the knees, straightening the legs. Bending the knees and straightening the legs. You're down to 10 seconds now. Awesome. Very good. Back to child's pose. Rest it out just a little bit again. Now for a plank, as you're resting in child's pose, taking a couple of deep breaths, I know you've heard the term plank. You probably have done a plank. A plank is an exercise that you should do every single day. Every single day. Even if you do nothing else, plop into a plank and hold it for 60 seconds, even in chunks. Make it up to 60 seconds. All right? It's an easy thing to do in the morning, first thing when you wake up, even in your bed. Don't have to get out of bed. All right, your elbows and your shoulders should line up. If you need to go to your knees, easy adjustment to a standard plank that is still a regulation plank is to drop to your knees. Just make sure that your butt is down. All right, your time is going. Think pleasant thoughts about the benefit of strong tummy muscles. Pull in your belly button. Your time is 10 seconds in now. Squeeze your tushy muscles. Keep your head in neutral position. So focus on the floor. Keep your head up, though, with your ears lined up with your shoulders. And you're almost there. You've got 6 seconds left. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and rest back in child's pose. Okay, now to keep things going, I'm going to push you into a push-up. Now, a lot of people think push-ups are one of the hardest exercises to do, and they are a really difficult exercise to do because we're going to also do a push-up and we're going to do a little bit of a variation on mountain climbers before I have you stand up, and then we're going to get to some other things that, you're probably not going to like squats and lunges, but these are all really tried and true exercises. Don't let anyone fool you into thinking that you need super fancy moves to keep your body strong and healthy. All you really need to do is do a little bit every day and maintain consistency, and then anchor your work weeks, or your weeks rather, with some significant workouts that really push you into, a higher achievement level in terms of your health, especially if you suffer from any lifestyle conditions that have made changes to the kind of person or kind of life that you want to live. If you're not enjoying things because it's harder on you, because you're suffering from joint pain or just low energy, your health will take some time to change, but it can change. And this is a really good time of the year to get started with that grounding, the foundational, I hate saying the word fertility in this context, but like the nourishment of the groundwork that you need to lay. So push-ups can be done on your knees. You can also do push-ups against a chair or bench or even a wall if you're not very confident and strong enough to support your body weight in terms of push-ups. But I'm going to instruct you through the best way to get through 30 seconds of consistent push-ups. And I don't care how many you do. I'm going to say we're starting the clock for 30 seconds, and I just want you to bend your elbows and straighten your arms. Just like with the downward dog squat. It's that simple but very deliberate and smooth movement that allows your body to interact with gravity, number one, and then also because of the way that the push-up position is on the floor, you're in the plank. So you're moving with that already sort of restricted, isometrically contracted set of muscles in your trunk. All right, so let's get started now with 30 seconds. Your clock is going. I'm turning up the time. Turning up the music, I think, is what I meant. But make sure that you inhale as you lower your body. Exhale as you straighten your arms. You inhale on the bend through your nose. Exhale through your mouth as you straighten your arms back out. Awesome. You're doing great. And 3, 2, 1. Very good. Those were your push-ups. Very, very good. All right. Stand on up and let's just go right into some jumping jacks. All right. Jumping jacks are plyometric. I'm going to talk about why that's important in just a minute. But jumping jacks are an incredibly helpful, and again, something you can do every day just to get your heart rate stimulated and to activate all of the tissues in your legs, your hips, your trunk, your arms. So jump out with your feet, keep your feet straight, and then as your arms lift over your head, you're going to touch at the top with maybe a slight bend in your elbows, but you want to feel the stretch down both sides of your body. So go ahead and get started. 30 seconds, your time starts now. Halfway through. Keep it going. Keep those belly muscles pulled in. Keep your back straight. Keep breathing. You've got 10 seconds to go. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Now land at the end here with your feet straight, but a little wide. You want to be about shoulder width apart or a little wider than shoulder width apart, because I'm going to have you sit into a squat. Go ahead and get started. Turn the music down a little bit here. Sit into and back into an imaginary chair now. Again, modulate based on your own ability level. If you need to sit into an actual chair, that's fine. If you need to hold on to the back of a chair, that's fine. But we are interacting with gravity, and at that basic level, what your lowering your body and lifting up does, that interaction with gravity, is it stimulates the activity in your muscles, in the cells and the ligaments and the tendons, all the soft tissue, the fascia, all the fluids, in your organs, and all of the other things that make up the body inside of your body are reacting to gravity's pressure. And that's why squats, push-ups, why burpees, why so many of the movements that get you down on the floor and get you back up off the floor are really helpful for your conditioning. Okay, let's combine those two moves now. We've got 1 more minute to go. I promised a couple of lunges, so let's finish with lunges. But before that, I want to do 30 seconds of jumping jack, squat. Jumping jack, squat. All right? So jump your feet out super wide and then jump back in to shoulder width so that you can do 1 squat and then stand back up and do a jumping jack. All right, your time is going for 30 seconds. Excellent. 5 more seconds. You're all set. Okay. Now, let's finish with a little thinking about, this is going to be, lunges in some ways are a balance exercise. They exercise your legs independently of one another, which is why I always incorporate, even if they're sort of modified lunges where you don't actually bend both knees deeply. And we're going to start with something we call the archer's lunge. And it is a lunge where you're standing and facing one direction. You're going to turn your entire body 90 degrees as you take a big step out with your right leg. Your left leg does not move. Your right leg extends, takes a step out and forward about 2 feet. You bend the right knee a little bit and you face the right knee a little bit. And then you bring your entire body back to facing forward in line with the left leg. And let's do just 5 on each side. Okay, so you're going to complete 4 more with the right foot moving only. Right knee bends as you step out into, and think about the way that an archer has to move to the target to face the position of the bow and arrow, as one, if you've ever thought about a bow and arrow and an archer. Then complete 5 to the other side. Excellent. Excellent. Good job. All right. So the reason that we do 5 on each side is obviously for you to practice and think about the momentum and the motion and the mechanics, I guess, really, of the one leg moving, the other leg stabilizing. Then you do the other leg. So now let's go back to the right leg moving. We're going to do a forward lunge to finish off here. You're going to lift up the right leg, step forward, and if you can bend both knees, you're going to bend both knees to 90 degrees and then push off of the right foot and return to your starting position. Now, you can also lift your arms over your head as a way to continually to boost your heart rate just a little bit more. And of course, you'll notice that it feels differently on your right leg than your left leg. Once you finish the 5 on the right leg, do 5 on the left leg. Probably when your right leg is stabilizing, in this case, it might be that your left foot stepping forward is going to be harder because your right leg is stable. The left leg moving forward is going to be easier because your right leg is stable. When your right leg was moving forward, your left leg had to be stable. If you're right-handed, that can be more difficult. Lots of transference, the right side versus the left side. It's all very, very fascinating to me, which is why I've been studying it for such a long time and why we prioritize pivoting, the term that we give to working the legs independently of one another. We place such a high priority of it in our workouts at InShape Fitness. I'm going to sign off from here for now. I just want to also let you know, so this is the last AM maintenance routine for 2018. We will be off next week. The following week we'll be back, but tomorrow I am recording at the InShape Fitness show the 12 days of fitness, the 12 days of Christmas fitness, and the Partridge in the Pear Tree is a really fun move this year, and my daughter came up with it. I'm so excited about it. So 12 days of fitness, it's tomorrow on the InShape Fitness show, and I will see you in the new year. Have a great day.